Welcome to Serlachius Museum Gustaf, introducing us the fascinating Finnish industrial history and art. Gustaf is located at the former head office of the forest combine GA Serlachius Limited. The building was completed in 1934. Head office was the Serlachius company's visiting card, which was introduced to the world and international distinguished guests visiting Finland. Deliberated architecture, modern technology and art play an essential role in the entity. Gösta Serlachius was particularly pleased with the central hall of the building. It had also been the reason why the architect brothers Jung had won the architectural competition held to build the office building. Large oval-shaped opening is a focal point in the 3-floor high main hall. Distinguished, light-colored spaces were spiced up with wood, bronze and glass. Interesting details of the hall contain clear geometrical forms. Finnish artist Lennart Segerstråle was commissioned to decorate the hall with murals, land and forest, depicting livelihood of the Finnish people. On the frieze of the first floor railing, Segerstråle painted the genesis of Mänttä. The story begins in the first pharmacy in Tampere, where the pharmacist Serlachius is planning to change careers and dreaming of the future Groundwood Mill in Mänttä. During the year of the Finnish famine, 1868, he sailed with 5 timbermen on the ship Pegasus to Vilppula and from there on a rowing boat to Mäntänkoski Rapid. In the next image, the Groundwood Mill is erected on the shore of Mäntänkoski, which had several riverbeds. G.A. Serlachius was not a teetotaler, so the wages of the voluntary workers clearing the rocks from the rapids consisted also of a keg of liquor. The production of pulp sheets is depicted as next. This was the era when the factory work was to a large degree handiwork. Serlachius inspects the quality himself. Before the railway, the pulp was transported on church boats and on horse-drawn sledges or carts, boats and barges, and on its passage to Hämeenlinna, the bales were loaded and unloaded several times. In the image, the products have arrived in their main market area in St. Petersburg. One can recognize the landmarks of the city, for example, Kazan Cathedral and Peter and Paul Fortress. For 50 years, the central administration of the Serlachius Company was located under the roof of this building called the White House. In the old days, the impressive lift was in the use of the directors and high-ranking officials of the company. Now it's out of service. The era of head office life was over in 1986, when GA Serlachius Limited and Metsäliitto Industries merged as Metsäserla. Gösta Serlachius Fine Arts Foundation acquired the building in year 2000. The museum was opened after an extensive renovations 3 years later. Gustaf tells stories of history of the paper industry, the Serlachiuses, as well as art. The bygone times of the paper industry remain vivid in the historical offices located on the first floor. The senior management of the company was positioned here, resembling a spider in the middle of the web. Mill owner Gösta Serlachius wanted to know even the most unimportant matters and personally solve, for example, the apple thefts of the youth. The latest technology was in use at the head office. It was one of the first buildings in Finland that had district heating. The furniture in the CEO's room is made of flame birch. Their frame was made in the carpenter's shop that was part of the company. Decorations have been made by Serlachius' favorite artist and friend, Hannes Autere. It depicts face by face how wood is converted into paper. On this table, the 3 generations of directors in the Serlachius family have made decisions concerning the mill, the local community, as well as the whole branch. The original interior includes also the artworks. The harbour view shows how the pulp bales with GAS logo leave for the world. In the conference room of the board of directors, 2 first Serlachius generations supervise the actions of their descendants in portraits painted by Finnish artists. Produced since 1960s, Serla is one of Finland's best-known brands and originates naturally in the family name Serlachius. Mänttä mill still operates in tissue and cooking paper production under the name Metsätissue.
Serlasen olla pitää.
The museum's historical cafe on the ground floor reflects the spirit of the 1930s modern and dynamic head office. The cafe has been furnished with chrome and black furniture designed by renowned Finnish designer Pauli Blomstedt. The personnel at the head office enjoyed refreshments in the cafe in turns determined by hierarchy. During rationing, instead of coffee substitute, real coffee was served here. The photographs on the wall express the dignity and community spirit of the status-conscious people of the head office. Fluent Swedish was required those days. Using means familiar from the theatre, the exhibition Paper Devil tells the story of Serlachius in staged exhibition spaces, representing 8 scenes from the life of the mill founder. In addition to mill founder, the characters include the wife, Mrs. Alice Serlachius, Fredrik Idestam, the main competitor and person who established the Groundwood Mill in Nokia, as well as Serlachius' favorite painter, Axel Galén, who is painting the portrait of Sissi Serlachius, the daughter of the mill founder. In the exhibition Apothecary's Trade House, people can acquaint themselves hands-on with mill founder Serlachius' previous career as pharmacist in the 1850s in Tampere. A visitor may dress up in the spirit of the 19th century, distinguish the smell of different herbs used in manufacture of medicines, as well as use an old till. Along with the exhibition Behind the Pulp Gate, Museum Gustaf has returned back to its roots in introducing the history of the Finnish paper industry. In the exhibition texts, the employees of the sulfite mill describe their work and changes that have occurred during almost 80 years. The interviews revealed their pride in their work as well as good community spirit at the mill. The stories, along with the collection items, also open views into changes in the industrial surrounding and environmental questions. One may follow the production process with the help of the flowchart. The process starts with wood. Objects in the exhibition include a bale cart, as well as spirits barrel, which reveals that alcohol was the side product of the pulp. The exhibition also manifests the industrial restructuring that hit Mänttä pulp mill early 1990s. The drying up of export to Soviet as well as environmental aspects had such an impact on the profitability of pulp manufacturing that the company decided to close the mill. Also, other industrial sites in Finland share the same history. The Museum Gustaf tells about the past and present of the locality. The surroundings with its artworks form an essential part of the entity. One of the tasks of the museum's background organization, the Gösta Serlachius Fine Arts Foundation, is ornamentation of the locality. At close vicinity, it is possible to acquaint yourself with public pieces of Finnish sculptures such as Viktor Jansson, Aimo Tukiainen, Matti Peltokangas, Väinö Aaltonen and Harri Kivijärvi, among others. Jussi Mäntynen's Mother's Pride, a dark pair of lynxes, creates a special majestic atmosphere for the exterior of the building. Monumental and reduced, the lynxes, reminiscent of the sphinxes of the ancient cultures, wave a farewell to the visitors leaving the building.